strange, I suppose. But not only that, while he was in Paris, he didn't sort of sit back and say, oh, I'm a very important man from a ministry, and no, he was out there interacting with everybody who mattered in Paris at that time. He frequented the salons in the 18th century. He had intellectual debates with people. He exchanged information. He observed people. And as a result of his work, both as a very astute diplomat in the traditional sense, understanding balance of power in the world at that time, and because also he had been able to mobilize French public opinion at that time in favor of the 13 colonies in this country, he was able actually to establish the foundation of American transatlantic relations with Europe. He's my hero, and obviously if you read a biography of Benjamin Franklin, you'll see a lot of other things that I didn't necessarily mention. But this is Mr. Franklin, my hero. And I wanted to tell you why he's my hero, because I think it's really relevant for all of us in the room today. I was incredibly proud with Carolyn to be a part of creating this program 3 years ago. And the whole program was based on the premise that we need to talk to each other, to understand each other better, in order to make the world a better place for all of us who participate in one way or another in the transatlantic relationship. And that brings me to you. So why are you here? I am not suggesting that you run away from home. Let's start right there. But I suspect that if Benjamin Franklin had had the opportunity to participate in a program like this one, he might not have felt the need to run away from home to do what he wanted to do. So have that irrepressible curiosity. Examine the information that you're getting and taking in. Examine your stereotypes and your assumptions about all the people around you, and constantly think them through and put them back into the mix of conclusions that you have about the world around you. That's what this program is really all about. And it's critical. It's critical for all of us. What are the issues that matter right now in the world? Does anybody want to throw out some ideas? Yes. Price of oil. What is oil related to? What is energy policy related to?
It's related to the dependence on fiscal capacity,
Food security. Good. And other things that are related or not related? We only have windbreaks? Oh, good. Yes. So political, more traditional political processes. Does anybody else want to throw out a couple of other ideas? Yeah, way back there.
The problems in the Middle East.
Problems in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Are the problems in the Middle East political only?
Not only political, and also economic.
They're very complex.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Well, yeah.
global warming.
Exactly. Exactly. Now stop and think a minute. Are those problems that you've just talked about, we have political problems, we have energy issues, we have food policy, food security issues, and the tensions that that can generate among people and nations. We have environmental issues, which obviously have potentially huge implications for food and political security. What is my point here? My point is that we now live in a world in which everything is multifaceted and interlinked. And I think that it's not good enough anymore to be the kind of diplomat that looks at political relations in the traditional sense, or economic relations in isolation from everything else. We need a Benjamin Franklin kind of mentality that looks at the natural world and says, what is the natural world telling me, and how does that relate to all the other issues that I'm looking at? And how can I take all of my observations, test them through discussion and interaction with other people, and use them to come up with conclusions that help us together make a better world for all of us. So that's why Benjamin Franklin is my hero. He has been for many years as an American diplomat, and I'm sure he will be until I end my career, whenever that is, and maybe even beyond that. But I'd like to suggest that he is the kind of hero that each of you might want to identify for yourselves as well.